today we'll be taking a story from Lagos State. Talking about reports about a 50-year-old man that is named Emmanuel, and he was fatally struck by a train on Tuesday near the Arena shopping complex in Oshodi, Lagos. The incident occurred around 9 a.m. and was later confirmed by Lagos State Police spokesperson SP Benjamin Hundeyin. Emmanuel's youngest sister reported the tragic incident to the Mosafejo Police Division after being notified via phone. Now, police detectives visited the accident site, took photographs and moved Emmanuel's body to a public morgue for an autopsy. The investigation into the case has since been handed over to the Railway Police Command for further inquiry. Now, this is not the first time we're hearing of an accident with a train, especially when you talk about Lagos State. And then another reason I want us to take a look at this story is because of some of the happenings. When you look at the railway in Lagos, you find out that sometimes you see traders selling on that railway. Until you see the train coming from a distance, then they start signaling themselves, they carry their products and they start running away from the railway for the train to pass, and then they are back again. And this is not something this is not a good practice. This is something that is very risky. And aside that, when you look at the commuters on the train now, a lot of them just hang on the train outside. And if you look at it, it's a worrying sight because you feel like this person is about to fall off. The train is filled with people inside, on top, outside, on the side, and everywhere. So this is an issue that needs to be discussed. But looking at this particular story about the man that was crushed by that train, I'd like to get Eki on this conversation.
Well, you've stated the different attitude of probably Lagosians as regards to train activities and engagement. I have not seen that where passengers, hang on train. You stayed in Lagos probably, and you have seen most of those things happen, but I haven't seen. And be that as it may, I would like to request, hence the police has come in and the railway authority to properly investigate the remote cause of this issue and likely look out for preventive measures. But again, what actually happened, that the man that was crushed was at the site of being crushed. Was it outside the train, way, or he was on the train way? So this is a question that begs for an answer. But if he was actually on the train way and he was crushed, the big answer is, what could have happened? Why is he there? What was he doing there? And for the train that crushed him, was it because the train, even if a train fails brake, by the time, if it fails brake, it will not crush only him. Because the scenario depicts that there are a lot of people who usually hangs around the train way, especially the area that he was crushed. It was not a lonely path. It was a busy place where people use as market either. Now, so it begs for an answer. I also want to encourage that those of us who are in the practice of risking our lives negatively, because life is full of risk, but there are some negative risk. There are some risks that doesn't worth taking, because you know that the aftermath effect is more deadly than any kind of effect that can come out of it. So I think trading around the trainways are not good. And number two, the government of each of these states should not see the train business as a federal government business, to say we have nothing to do when our citizens are, trying to risk their lives negatively, because the news is Lagos. So wherever the train, way passes, and it has to do within your boundaries as a state, I think if your citizens are trying to do activities that can, risk their life for nothing, you can come in, you can set up measures
All right.
to ensure those preventive
Okay.
causes. But
Thank you.
again, I want to call that our actions towards most of this kind of environment should be cautioned.
All right. Let's bring Mazi into the conversation. Mazi Chinedumobioha actually stays in Lagos State. He's a resident of Lagos State, so he would be able to tell us more about how he sees the attitude of some Lagosians regarding the area. That's the railway now, with the railway. All right, let's bring Mazi into the conversation. Good morning, Mazi. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. It's a pleasure. I'm doing well by the grace of God.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, Mazi, let's look at the attitude of Lagosians regarding the railway in some areas of Lagos. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, once again, thank you for having me online from Lagos. I live in Lagos. I do my business in Lagos. I worship. Everything about me is in Lagos. Unfortunately, that Tuesday precisely, I was also in the studio, when the news broke up. And honestly, it's something very sad, very disheartening, very heartbreaking. Okay. That's not the first time it has happened, especially at that particular Oshodi. Sometime ago, was it last year, last 2 years, it happened that a train collided with staff bus. I think it was Lagos State bus that was conveying workers to their various work. So, and some people lost their lives, and I think including the driver, whatever. And I would describe it in this form that we are lawless country. Lawless country. I repeat it, lawless country. People have a sense, that is any person killed by train, now they hear. But then if you are deaf, you will hear the sound of the train. The train doesn't actually about a kilometer to a nearby train station. The station. It begin to blow on.
True.
Creating awareness. A train is not supposed to have automatic brake. It takes time before the train stops. So the attitude of Lagos or Lagosians is something to worry about, because like we said, I listened to you, it is filled to capacity, some climbing, some hanging, some climb to the roof from Bitamita to Alabado to anywhere. You see them, especially during the opening hours and closing hours. So the attitude of Lagos is something that we need to think about. And of course, you don't blame them. The cost of transportation is also killing. Again, like my colleague there said, the government should be able to put a check on that. I know Agege, there used to be a gate, and some policemen stand there. When the train is coming, they stop every passing vehicle, crossing vehicle. But I don't see it.
But Mazi, don't you think it is strange? Because I don't know what you see, but when the first time I saw it, I felt it was strange that having the train or having the railway cross the road, and then when vehicles want to pass, some vehicles would then want to pass through the railway just quickly before the train passes, and that's a very funny thing.
You are very right, and that of Agege, there's no iron to cross it. You will only see some few policemen that will stand there to stop vehicles, and some will also hurriedly like to pass across. And again, I have seen some policemen very close to the railway line, whatever, and they stop vehicle few meters to the railway line. And if you happen to, you see, this lawless country, I know in those days, there used to be a barricade that when the train is coming with the horn, they cross that thing and nobody passes, nobody comes over. But today I don't see it. I'm not seeing it in Lagos. It used to be in Agege. It used to be even Oshodi. It used to be a Yaba. But today, you see traders trading their wares on top of the rail. And when the rain is coming, blowing the horn, you see them scattering.
True.
And some waves very close to it. It's unfortunate. So in Nigeria, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do.
But considering that we are a lawless country, Mazi, remember that we have laws, and from definition of a lawless country, it should be a country without laws, right? Nigeria has laws, and these practices that we're talking about.
The operators of the law, the operators of the law, they don't obey it. Nigerians, we don't obey the law. That's the problem. The moment we wake up one day and say enough is enough, the moment we say we must obey the law of the land, that is the beginning of the wisdom. If we don't obey the law, if the law says don't cross the rail when the train is coming, don't climb on the roof of the train, don't hang. I remember it didn't start today. I remember 1976 when I traveled from Umaya, from Aba to North. People were hanging, but nobody was climbing on the roof. Because the train was still to capacity. That is what will happen today. We are unplanned nation. We don't plan for our future.
But Mazi,
that's not the reason why people should climb.
Yes.
That's not the reason people should try to cross. That's not the reason people should stand on the railway line. It's unfortunate.
All right.
Then the hardship.
We can always peg it on something, Mazi. Before this hardship we're talking about now, you already talked about the fact that it started from way back. We also are going to look at the attitude of the people. But then another question I want to ask you before we wrap up on this topic, or before I bring Ambassador Ikie in again, is these people are not hiding to do these things. The people selling on the railway, they are not hiding. These practices are not hidden. So if the government actually wanted to stop this thing, don't you think it would have been stopped? The people that are climbing on the train, are they hiding? Are they invisible people? Are they not people that we can see?
Now you see, you can't stop a train that is on the motion to arrest those climbing. But what about from the point where they entered? What about from the point the train was not moving when they jumped on the train to hang on the train? That's right. That's why I said we must start to do something right. Do you know that even those buying the ticket, they buy in excess? The authorities sell in excess. But let me shock you. Do you know that those selling on the railway line, they are paying tokens to the local government? I remember some few years back, about 3 or 4 years now, that particular Oshodi railway crossing that leads to the army barracks there. Do you know that there was a time the soldiers there confiscated their goods until they paid some certain amount of money before they are released? Even the ones paid, the ones selling there, they pay tokens to the local government. From time to time, the local government there comes to collect money. So we must say these things, let them hear. Of course, they have ears, they don't hear. Some of all these things, when this head is rotten, it affects the body.
Right.
They are there. Are they not seeing it? The law enforcement agencies, are they not seeing it? The same law enforcement agencies are the ones collecting tokens from them. So it's unfortunate. We must do the right thing by saying we must obey the law. If the law said don't climb, don't sell, and the enforcement of the law is key.
All right. Thank you, Mazi. Let's hear Ikie before we move on. Ikie, you've heard Mazi point out these things that we probably would not see on the paper because he's a resident of Lagos State. And he talked about the claims that the law enforcement agencies who are supposed to enforce the law that has talked about these people not selling on the railway and all of these things, allegedly collecting tokens from them for them to sell in those places. Let's talk about the way forward. What do we do moving on from here?
You must love yourself. If you are not enrolled in the military, and then because there is, you saw the army or the police going to fight, and then you decided to join them, if you are killed in cause of that war, it's not known, it's supposed not to be known to the Nigerian police or to the Nigerian army because you are not enlisted. Now, if you went and climbed the train, like in this case, we sympathize with the family.
Yes.
But we are yet to know
the course,
whether he was among those who climbed and then the train crushed him, you know, to begin to apportion blame.
Or whether he was crossing the road, or,
you know. But in any case, being around the train road when the train is coming is wrong. And it means that those who are managers of this train authority should try and live up to her responsibilities.
But Mazi talked about being there that Tuesday. If I got you right, you said you were there that Tuesday.
In the studio.
Okay, you were in the studio. Okay, just wanted to get that right. Okay, let's move on to the next story. It's talking about a statement from the presidency.